Hey, hey, hey. Time for another out-of-this-world story from rSpace. Nothing screams true love like lying to your spouse's face while planning a future with someone who probably can't even remember her coffee order. Today on rSpace, the high road always drives people crazy. Wife cheated. Next steps? Hello. I've been a lurker here for a little while, trying to process infidelity in my life. Long story short, wife and I have been married for 8 years. Together, a few years longer total, and have 2 small kids. This year has been tough, and we have had our arguments, but nothing that I would ever think would push my wife to cheat. Anyways, I noticed her lately being distant and being uncommunicative, and decided to confront one evening. At that time, she said that she was not happy and couldn't feel a spark anymore. At first, I freaked out on myself, thinking I was being a non-attentive husband, truthfully an issue. However, the next day, I caught a very strange message on her phone that was extremely lovey-dovey. I took a look and then found my wife was messaging a man for a long time with lots of I love yous and plans for a future together. Effing destroyed. Anyways, taking the advice of many threads on here, I didn't confront initially. I actually read as much as I could, contacted a couple lawyers for advice, one now on retainer, and got my head on straight and calm. I confronted my wife a couple of days ago calmly and asked if she was having an affair, and after a couple of minutes, she admitted everything. Long story short, it's been going on for 6 months, and she claims it's the deepest emotional connection ever. Complete BS, but whatever. To end it all, I gave my list of boundaries, cut off contact, marriage counseling, etc. The thing that I think is the final nail of an honest attempt to reconcile is she got extremely aggravated with cutting off contact, especially when I told her to do it in front of me and even insisted to see him one last time for closure. I effing held my ground and told her if he is so important, pack a bag and go live with him, to which she backed off, but not before she told me I was a controlling a-hole. Anyways, she sent a text this morning and showed me, but my spidey senses seem to think she will try a different means of communication. I'm thinking there is no hope, and I honestly don't want it at this point, but I just wanted to be able to tell my kids in 20 years I at least tried. We have marriage counseling tomorrow, but I'm thinking it's time to file before wasting any time or grief. I'm cautious to move too fast because of my kids, but is this the right way to do it? The OP commented on their own post. Wow, this thread got big fast. Thanks for the awesome comments. It's been helpful to get validation. I have the paperwork filled out with my lawyer. They just need to process it, and I will have to pick a date to have her served. You're all right. This will not end well if I go the doormat route. I need to think about my future and my kids and move on. A commenter says, it honestly is great to see someone not be a doormat in this situation. Honestly, good on you for playing it smart. It will suck, but keep that rage on red hot. Don't let it cool down because you are keeping your head in the game. You will thank yourself later for this. Your kids will also, once they are capable of understanding. I would actually consider keeping the evidence locked away in case she ever tries telling the children a different story, so they can see it with their own eyes. Probably too extreme, and not a good parenting thing to do to go that scorched earth and salt the fields. Another commenter says, I took a look and then found my wife was messaging a man for a long time with lots of I love yous and plans for a future together. She claims it's the deepest emotional connection ever. Your wife did not hide her relationship and emotional state. The relationship will be lived in secret. Your wife doesn't want to leave the affair partner. Informed him and sent the message you requested. Communication continues on the second phone or at work. I'm assuming affair partner is his coworker. The OP replies, not a direct coworker, but someone she interacts with in her industry. But I agree, this is going to likely continue by another means, which just means it's time to rip the band-aid off. Update. The past few weeks, simply put, have sucked, but it's given me time for a lot of soul-searching and thinking. As an update from the previous thread, the wife and I did attend some counseling after the initial confrontation, and I will say this particular counselor has been very good about listening to both of us and not assigning blame or anything like that, and helping to navigate our new reality. She has also helped to uncover some structural issues in our relationship, and while that doesn't at all excuse my wife's behavior, it's helpful at least knowing for a future relationship and not repeating the same mistakes. As also mentioned in the thread, my wife's initial reaction to my boundary to cut off contact with the affair partner appeared to go unheeded, and I did catch some small messages between them before she completely went dark with her chat logs and phone. After seeing that, I decided to file, and she was served a few days ago, and in parallel, I decided to have a heart-to-heart with my father-in-law as we are super close and I needed to prioritize this support for our kids versus our relationship, as I could see my wife wanted to sweep this under the rug. Needless to say, my wife was initially extremely upset. Her fantasy was blown up, but our therapist did talk it through with her from my point of view on why this needed to happen, and I think she is starting to realize the consequence of her actions and start to see there are real things that are going to be lost. From here on out, I'm just trying to process the new life ahead and the huge change in my identity from a husband to father to something else. Same with her. I will say, since I filed, my wife was immediately shocked when I dropped that on her, and she has been very emotional these past few days. I honestly think she thought I would never be able to walk away. I have kept her at arm's length, but I have seen a distinct change in her, and on a positive note, we have talked more, kept our conversation civil, and focused on our shared priorities, children mostly. I've made it very clear to her that she left a huge wound on me and that she has to do the heavy lifting to help repair and give me space and time if I can ever begin to forgive. I'll say it again and again, her actions are the most selfish, self-centered, horrible thing you could do to a person, but I have not lost sight that we still need to raise our children, and that is my focus point as I navigate how I will move to the next phase of my personal happiness. I wanted to thank everyone for the previous comments and insight. I am honestly proud that I found the strength to not wallow in self-pity, anger, or sadness, and was able to make the right moves to retain my dignity and look forward to a bright future. I honestly don't know all the next moves and my feelings are constantly in flux, but I am starting to feel some inner peace. Thank you all again. Let's check in for some more comments. First up, I'm very proud of your progress. You stuck it out and exhausted that route. Yet she was deep in the affair fog, but she not only broke your boundaries, but also your heart when she told you he was the deepest emotional connection she had. My only advice to you is that you stay this course at least until divorce afterwards if you want to reconcile, and you feel it's the right path, then go ahead. But if you don't divorce her and take her back, she and your children will understand that there are some actions that don't have consequences. Again, well done. We are all very proud of you. Next comment says, I just read your first post in this one. My situation was almost identical to yours. I caught her messaging affair partner after she agreed to cut him off. When we went to couples therapy, they tried to drag me into the relationship analysis, and I blew up on the therapist and my ex after they tried to corner me both about housework and doing more of it. I then realized that therapists cater to soften any accountability that would cause conflict. I had to force the counselor to confront my ex about the ongoing text messages. She wouldn't do it. I was basically running the counseling session myself, and we quit thereafter anyways after I decided to leave her. It's like an emergency room patient comes in with a gunshot wound in his chest, and the doctor begins by asking if the patient smokes or eats too much cholesterol. All those other health factors are irrelevant as long as there's an open hole in your chest. That is why, when you started describing your counseling session, I was getting pissed and thinking that they were somehow going to convince you that you had a part to blame for the cheating. My ex was also shocked I went through with splitting up too. Anyways, good luck, and I think you're doing the right thing. Small update. Anyways, I'm in the post-serving part and working closely with my counsel. What I'm looking for is if any betrayed spouse here took advantage of the affair fog to get better divorce terms and how you pulled it off. My soon-to-be ex-wife is clearly deep in the fog, still seeing, contacting affair partner, which at the moment, I haven't bothered her since it's a good distraction. What did people get agreements on that were unexpected? Any advice is greatly appreciated on how to move through this phase, and also to keep her off balance is also helpful. Besides Grey Rock and 180, I've been going out much more unexpectedly and not divulging details of my activity. One commenter has this advice. You draw up what looks like to be the most advantageous agreement possible, show it to your lawyer, and get them to make it realistic, but still very much to your advantage, and dangle the, let's do this quick so you can be with honey buns, and I'll be out of your hair line to her. Someone else suggests, my ex left me for a wealthy affair partner. She was convinced that affair partner was going to leave his wife and marry her. My ex was not interested in my house, purchased with first wife, my retirement account, or my stock portfolio. She wanted half of our savings account, and that was it. I wanted to blow up her relationship with affair partner by telling his wife about the affair, but my attorney told me to play nice until the fog lifted or until the divorce was finalized. My ex withdrew $60,000 from savings, and she was gone. Another update. Hi everyone. I posted a few threads about my ongoing saga, but the abridged version is wife cheated, I caught her, she gave me the I love you but not in love, and affair partner is the greatest emotional connection ever, BS, and has trickle truth to gaslit everything to the script. I then proceeded to drop papers on her, and well, here we are a few weeks later. Long story short now, in the post-serving phase and having to cohabitate for now since I want to spend as much time with my children as possible. I am now in a separate room too, so this has helped me begin to get that distance. I implemented the gray rock with my soon-to-be ex-wife. Generally try not to be interested in any discussion, but have to fake it a little, especially with kids around. They are still small, but try to be upbeat, as they can sense a lot. I'm also not making myself available in the evening, going out with friends, working out, whatever. Any other advice on how to best handle the situation? It's a delicate balance. I want as much bonding time with my kids and have sucked it up for family dinners and whatnot. Any other do's and don'ts? Time for more advice. A lot of things. My big mess up? Don't sleep with her. When I was going through my breakup, wasn't married though, we had to live together for a couple of months, with 2 kids. I got drunk and we slept together. This creates a whole new hell, in my opinion. Also, don't let her crawl back. In time, her new shiny relationship will crumble as it's built on lies. Once the fog is gone, cheaters normally try to crawl back, so stand strong if this happens. The OP replies, "Yep, that ship has sailed. I can't even look at the soon-to-be ex-wife without being repulsed sexually by her. I get how there could be temptation, but I don't even want to give her a hug right now. The damage is too deep." Another commenter says, "You're doing the best you can in an unattainable situation. Continuing to live together is the most traumatic experience you'll feel when you know it's over. Make the kids your sole focus and joy. Otherwise, entertain no conversation with her and respond in one-word answers. Try hard to not have any angry tone. Just be a boring gray rock and channel all that anger into pursuits outside the house." Next tip: don't fake it too much. Be as cold as you can be. Don't fall for a trap. Try to spend your time with your kids without your ex. Go to the park. Go eat out, etc. Try to make them adapt to having separated parents. Did you get tested for STDs? You say your kids are small. Is there a risk they aren't yours? The OP replies, "I've started going out with them, taking my son biking, kind of getting them used to us not being together. Haven't gotten STD tested, but wife and I haven't had intimacy in a while, and I know the timeline of interaction. Probably wouldn't hurt. As for kids, they were born well before their affair partner was ever in the picture, and the looks are my bloodline. I know from their messages when they started talking and years after my youngest was born, thankfully." Another commenter says, "You're assuming this is her first affair. You wouldn't be the first to make that assumption and be wrong. Having a DNA test also sends a powerful message to just how very untrustworthy she is, and it might give her a further wake-up call to un-F herself for her future." One more comment before moving on. I'd second a DNA test. Ultimately, it doesn't have to change your relationship with the kids. You'll always be their dad, but it could significantly reduce your liabilities if she tries to milk the financials. Filing was the right call. She clearly wasn't going to respect any boundaries, and you deserve better than to be someone's backup plan. She really thought she was going to run off into the sunset with this guy, and you'd just stand and watch as the sun went down. Not. Stay the course, OP. Keep your support system close, and don't second guess yourself. Update. Hi everyone. I've made a few posts prior, and to those that don't know the story, it's simply wife cheated, greatest emotional attachment ever, love you but not in love, etc. I threw down papers, and well, I'm just over 1.5 months after D-Day and working like hell to move on. The purpose of this post is not for any update. All I can say is the process is ongoing, and I will give the appropriate update at the right time, likely a while. My only request is for anyone that has gone through the process, please share any good advice, lessons learned, things you would have done differently, or good things to know. The advice in the previous posts have been super helpful, and those that have reached out in other ways have been incredible. Just reaching out in case there is more that can help. Another update. Anyways, the past few months have been frosty, but relatively drama-free, as the soon-to-be ex and I separated our lives in the house, but still did things for our children. The discovery and mediation process proceeded pretty quickly. We agreed on 50-50 for our kids, along with schedules and holidays, and since it's a no-fault state, asset division was by the book with some give and take. I won't go into details too much at this time, maybe another post in the future, but I will be finding a place soon for a fresh start. The final conclusion is on the horizon, but for the most part, the D is complete. As for my advice for this whole fiasco, I learned a bunch of things. 1. Don't bother with a pick-me dance. I tried for a week before wising up to her cheating. My soon-to-be ex was still in the fog, but it's her decision. She needs to live with it. 2. Do lawyer up with an experienced family law attorney who is reasonable. I can't say enough of the person who took care of me, understanding that this is what I want versus reality was important to converging in the end. I don't have any crazy ridiculous fees, as I did a lot of prep and avoided hours and hours of back and forth, and this was able to be settled rather quickly. 3. Do lean on friends and family for support as much as possible. 4. Working out, exercise is key to keeping your mental health. I hit the weights a month after D-Day, and I'm starting to reap the benefits, and that confidence has been helpful to get across the finish line. 5. Get into individual counseling and talk with someone. That has helped me tremendously. 6. I realized this from all the posts I read, but the cheaters' decisions are all on them. I heard it all from my soon-to-be ex. I was a roommate. I love you, not in love. Our marriage went so wrong. I worked too much, blah, blah. Truth be told, now that I know the timeline, our marriage went wrong after she invited someone in her life that was feeding her lines to stroke her ego and give her extra attention, and she had to put up walls and make them the bad guy to justify this in her mind. Sure, she may have been stressed from kids or day-to-day life in a long-term marriage, but not communicating to her husband and confiding in a 2-time divorcee cheater with no moral compass is all on her, and a recipe for disaster. The exciting final chapter of Captain Sacknuts, Fremont A. Cheese, 5-Year Plan, Sid Affair Partner is yet to be written, but poor choices carry consequences. That is all I will say on the matter. Again, thank you to everyone. I still have a lot of work ahead, but also many adventures in this new chapter of my life. I hope I can return the favor to anyone who needs it. Please reach out if anyone needs a helping hand. I am here. Update. Once a cheater, always a cheater. Well, the saga of AC is coming to a close in the next few months, but the hits keep on coming. It was informed to me recently my cheating soon-to-be ex has also cheated on her previous fiancé with a married man. This was a couple years before we met. The affair partner met his fate in an unfortunate fatal car crash. I never knew this until now. Just goes to show the empty hole in the cheater never gets filled. As those of you who followed my story, I've felt tremendous guilt about my role in my marriage, but this revelation hits home. Nothing I would have done would have changed my fate. Question: to those who are in the same situation, did you find out your ex had a cheating past? Update. Hi all. As the title says, and my recent posts have indicated, my light at the end of the tunnel is starting to appear. I won't go into detail of any terms, but I'll just say I'm in a good spot and I'll likely be back on my feet and doing good within a year financially. I know how bad this process can be, and I'm thankful for how things have gone. Reason I'm posting. So I filed within 2 weeks of finding out about my soon-to-be ex-wife's affair. She showed zero remorse or regret and still doesn't. We've been distant but friendly for my kids, but otherwise I've maintained distance. I don't blow up or anything, as I was playing cool as possible to prevent any domestic violence accusation. I'm just feeling some guilt for somewhat feeling like I should have been angrier and expressed it more. I still don't think my soon-to-be ex feels any of the consequences and was hoping to see even a little change of heart. Maybe it's just my confidence, but I'm just feeling like I could have been more direct in all this, filed even quicker, etc. How can I shake this feeling I didn't act decisively as I should? Update. Got a question for the group. My post history details the greatest emotional connection love story ever, I'm not so far away from moving into my own place. As I have a couple of kids with my soon-to-be ex and also for legal reasons, I have remained in our marital house as this process has taken place. I have posted a couple other threads of this ongoing saga. Thankfully, the light is at the end of the tunnel for me soon. Obviously, I have to co-parent with my cheating ex and will be friendly for that, but I have been firm in saying she killed our marriage and by default any sort of friendship. I have no room in my life for a lying cheater. She has, however, been insistent about wanting to be there for me, promising to help decorate my new house, and keeping holiday traditions for the kids. Again, I have remained firm in saying she torpedoed our relationship and wanted to replace me, so I'm simply giving her that wish, and even gone as far as to say she won't be a welcome guest in my house. Has anyone had this happen with the ex wanting to hang around? I have to guess it's some sort of optic. If we are friends, the split can't be so bad. So far, affair partner has not shown his face, and she tries to hide it, but I know it's a matter of time before their greatest emotional connection gets to go live. I have no desire to ever be in the same room as them two anyways, but will remain outside the blast radius with popcorn when that whole thing goes up in flames. Thanks as always to this awesome group. Time for a quick comment. She's doing it for herself. It would absolve her partially from her guilt, at least in her mind. It would mean that the betrayal and hurt cannot be that big of a deal if you still let her be in your inner circle. Don't let her. OP replies, "Yep, I know she is always concerned with image management, constantly posting on social media, etc. I've been letting my social media dry up anyways for my mental health, but she is definitely not in my inner circle, or have been sharing my thoughts, plans with her. Update. As of today, the official decree went out and I'm no longer married. I also picked up the keys to my new house and will start the process to move ASAP. I did choose to take a buyout as I felt it was best to start fresh in a place of my own to make new memories, and I really got lucky. I found a nicely kept up house barely a minute away from my current home. Huge fenced-in backyard, wood fire pit, big garage, and primo location. I also back up to a nature preserve, and as I'm an avid outdoorsman and biker, I have a gateway to my own little paradise. Some will ask why I'm so close. Well, I want to be close to my kids because they need to know their dad is close by for when they need me. Thanks to the advice of this community, I kept my mind focused on what was important, started a workout program, and also dove headfirst into a new career opportunity that recently paid itself huge dividends. I have not bothered with online dating or seeking out a new partner, and will likely enjoy the single life for a while. I have my 2 little kids to focus on, and fully plan on focusing on them and my personal growth for a while. As for my ex and affair partner, I honestly have started to let go of that disaster. Whatever happens will happen, and it's no longer my concern, as someone eloquently said before. When someone gets with somebody who cheated on their spouse, they are getting someone who cheated on their spouse. I did my best as a husband and father, and it's time for someone else to appreciate it. Thank you for all the messages, advice, well wishes, and so on. My life has depended on this so much these past months when I didn't have very many close by to turn to. For those that are at the very beginning of this crap deal, please keep putting one foot in front of the other and surviving every day. I'm not an expert in life, but I'm also willing to lend an ear to those who need it. Good luck, y'all. Honestly, you acted the way anyone would with kids. You had to keep a level head for them. Even though it's totally okay to break down in front of your kids, you kept strong and held that foundation. Your ex clearly operates from a place of self-interest and image management, and no amount of confrontation would have changed her course. Her attempts to stay involved in your life now aren't about you. They're about easing her own guilt and keeping up appearances. You're absolutely right to keep her at arm's length. Besides, letting go of the resentment and focusing on your own growth is the ultimate win. Update. Hello all. Wanted to give you a quick update, especially to those folks who just went through their D-Day and are worried about what life may be like. I'm 6 weeks post-decree, and I have moved into my new place a month ago, working like a madman to get it set up into my sanctuary. I finally have it well furnished and it feels like home. My home. My kids have now been over many times and the rotation is working well. I've read many times here that kids are resilient, but until you see it firsthand, it is worrisome. I'm happy to report they're handling things pretty well, and we have our own fun at Dad's house, and they have told me many times they love being over. As for me, it's initially being weird having some newfound freedom, but I found making to-do lists and daily, weekly, long-term goals is helping a lot. I was initially sad, but keeping busy keeps that away. I'm focused only on self-improvement at the moment. I have thought about putting myself back on the scene, but truthfully, have no interest. So I'm keeping focused on home improvement, fitness, and my kids. Someone commented on one of my posts that getting out of the house was like being underwater and coming up for air, and they were right. As for the cheating ex, I keep it cordial, but that's it. No sign of the greatest emotional connection affair partner yet. What the F? But who cares? I'll just say, tonight, I sat outside, had a few beers and a cigar, and enjoyed the peace and tranquility of my property, and thought getting the heck away from the situation my ex put me in was the right thing. To those at the beginning and doubting leaving, I get it. It's the toughest thing and heartbreaking and a kick in the junk. But making the decision to eject a cheater out was the only right decision, and I only feel with time it will get better. Cheers, everyone. Update. Almost 6 months past divorce. Moving forward. Hi all. I'm almost to the 6-month mark past divorce and nearly the year past D-Day. It's been cathartic to post, but I know a lot of folks have followed my journey, commented, messaged, given hope, etc., and like many others, posted along the journey to give the unfortunate new folks here some ray of light that, despite the darkness you have stepped in, there is another side. I hope I can continue to help in whatever small way I can to anyone in need. I greatly appreciated the support I got, and in kind would always love to return the favor. On that note, 6 months past D-Day, and there's a lot of positive news. My house is furnished and a home. My kids are comfortable in the routine and love coming over and have made some neighborhood friends. I am beyond thankful that the little ones managed this process so well, and they just understand there is dad time and mom time, and no complaints or tears. Outside of them being here, I have immersed myself into a crap ton of home improvements. The house I moved into was occupied by an older, divorced gentleman, and some stuff got left to the wayside, but I took it as an opportunity to make it my own. Along with that, I furnished a home gym in my house with everything I need and can say I'm getting my workouts and boxing in 4 times a week and getting my body back to where it needed to be. Through this whole ordeal, I also went through a major career change internally to where I work and somehow managed to not mess anything up, but instead have gotten kudos. I've kept my situation private, a raise, and plenty of exposure to get my career trajectory moving up. Yes, I still struggle daily with mental health and focus, but I managed it with therapy and workouts, and things are getting better. I think less and less of my ex-wife each day, and each small step is a relief. As for her, well, she is still in La La Land, but I can only say we co-parent decently well. I grey rock the hell out of her. Let's be friends. But keep it strictly to kids, and it's been cordial. I'm sure anyone who has followed my story has wondered about the saga of the affair partner. All I can say is the world's greatest love story hasn't gone live, but my kids made me aware recently he has been around in a small capacity. I have to laugh a little as it's now 6 months past D-Day, and they are still sneaking around. All great hallmarks of a long-lasting, trusting relationship, guaranteed to stand the test of time. I've come to terms that whatever is going to happen will happen, and at this point, I am lucky to be away from the person that is willing to lie to their most trusted partner's face and not feel an ounce of remorse, and I have a solid chance of building an even better life than before. Good riddance and good luck. Anyways, that is all, and yet another big thanks to all those that follow and comment, message, and send rays of hope. I will keep updating and supporting as always. Update. Affair partner is invited to my kid's birthday. Hi all, AC496 here. A big thanks to this lovely group as always. I have something to get off my chest for those that remember my saga. I've been progressing well, and I have some big updates coming soon, as I like to post up positive things on my journey to help those in their journey. But for now, I'm in need of advice. Background. My daughter's birthday is coming up this weekend. I already celebrated last week with my family and had a small thing. Nothing crazy, and my daughter loved her presents and cake. Well, the ex-wife is having her usual look at how awesome I am party this weekend. I did get an invite, but I just found out the other day that good old affair partner is going to be there. I called out my ex-wife saying this was a pretty crappy thing to do, but she didn't reply. Better yet, the ex-wife's co-workers and family and friends who knew about the affair will be there, and the party is at my old house. Enemy territory. This is just horrid overall, as it's my daughter's party after us divorcing, and I can't help but feel it's a setup. This is lose-lose, and after talking with some other supportive members here, this feels like entering a pit of vipers. The only thing I can think of is going and dressed well, fresh haircut, and showing off my new physique. Hey, I've been doing the work, and staying a little while, but either way, I just don't like this. I feel this is super manipulative of the ex-wife. She knows exactly how she is playing this, and wants me to do something petty. Any advice is appreciated. Edit. Wow, the responses have been awesome. You guys are all awesome. I will try and respond to each and every one when my day calms down. Let's see some of those comments. Don't go. You've already had your party for your daughter and have celebrated with her, and it sounds like she enjoyed it. That's all that counts. Tell your ex-wife you don't associate with homewreckers, plural, and you'll separate the parties from now on to avoid cross-contamination. Next bit of advice. Say that mommy and daddy are divorced, so you'll be having separate parties from now on. This year mommy has you for your birthday, and I won't be there, but we can go for birthday ice cream the day before, since I'm sad I won't see you on your birthday. Take her and a friend or two to a trampoline park and some ice cream. If in the future you wish to host the party when it's your turn to have her on her birthday and invite her mother, you can do that, but you never have to have anyone in your space that you don't want. You're divorced. Your family is divided. It's not your fault if your ex is upset. She can suck it. Update. Hey everyone. I wanted to thank the massive amount of support I got on my post from earlier this week. Since the beginning of this saga, this community has been my lifeboat and saver with advice to get me through all of this. Thank you all. It truly means the world to me. As for the juicy update, well, this is a good one. So I initially told the ex-wife that I'd be joining. What I didn't do was tell her I changed my mind. I waited until Sunday morning to pop by the house and drop off my daughter's card and present. Well, unbeknownst to me, the kids were dropped off at Grandma and Grandpa's house for the morning, and as I drove up into the driveway, in my sports car I may add, none other than the affair partner's turd wagon was on the side of the road. I strolled into the backyard quietly and with a smile and surprised both the ex-wife and the affair partner as they were putting up decorations. The look of utter terror was on both their faces, and I crap you not, the affair partner didn't look me in the eyes. Once, but was like, "Oh, hey man." Honestly, when I looked at both of them, I don't feel anger, but just a sense of how sad you both are. Good luck together. Is that growth? I kept my composure and just said, "I'm here to give the daughter her present, but I won't be joining." The ex-wife was shocked, and I swear, in the nicest voice I've ever heard in my life, she darn near pleaded for me to join. I said, "Thanks, but no thanks. I will go to your parents' place to give my daughter her gift," and parted ways. I did give a, "Hey, see you later, bro," to affair partner before strolling out, head held high. Not more than 3 minutes later, I got a phone call from the ex-wife again, pleading to come to the party, but I held my ground and politely refused. A few minutes later, I dropped off the gift, went into the ex-in-laws for a few minutes, and played with my kids and said my goodbyes, all very kindly and not mentioning the situation. As for me, I kept myself busy tending to my house. I got a good workout in, much needed after a break, and I went out on a date. Ultimately, it was kind of a bust, but she was nice, and at least it was a distraction. My daughter called me today and thanked me for my gift, but she didn't ask why I wasn't there. So like everyone said, she was so busy she didn't pay attention. So there it is. I know I would have went, and I would have set myself back a ton, and for nothing. Instead, she told everyone I'd be there, and with me a no-show and affair partner there, I'm absolutely certain people put 2 and 2 together on why. Now, I can go about my weekend not feeling like I'm mentally exhausted and do some fun things. Thank you again, everyone. One quick comment. Best revenge is a life well lived. I think you deserve a weekend in Paris. Then post that crap everywhere. Your ex wanted to have the friend vibe going on. You treated her like you used to know. Awesome for you. Do cool things with your kids and keep on trucking. One day you'll hear from someone how she regretted what she did. By then, you'll be with someone far better and who's great with your kids. Then your ex will get to understand what it's like having someone else be a mother figure in their life. Your home, your fitness, your career. Everything is falling into place because you put in the work, and that's something no one can take away from you. Your kids are thriving, and the fact that they love being at dad's place just shows how solid and steady you are for them. I'd call that a win. Then there's the birthday. You didn't give your ex the drama she was probably hoping for, and instead, you showed her exactly why you're better off without the nonsense. Growth, 100%. Update. Hey everyone, this is going to be a short but rather humorous update to my previous posts. The outreach was incredible. Thank you all for your advice, and I'm still smiling from the rope-a-dope I pulled last week. I've had a really good week since then. Anyways, here's your Friday humor. Some background. Since after D-Day, if those that have followed my saga may remember, my in-laws dropped me like a hot potato. I get it, blood is greater than water. However, I have had one member of the extended family reach out, and we regularly hang out. He is truly a man of character. Well, I got a text on Saturday during the party. "Hey man, let's grab some beers this week. Your presence is missed here." Fast forward to the other day, we meet, start consuming beers, and get down to business. He first starts talking about the awkward skis show the party was with, people clearly looking at their feet at the situation. Apparently, affair partner was not introduced to anyone. The ex-wife was deliberately apart from him during the party and was mostly directing him on things to do, and the in-laws didn't bother to talk to him and sat with themselves looking pretty annoyed. He clearly was a fish out of water and actually went inside most of the time and avoided most everyone. It was also a quiet comment among some of the in-laws on uncle's side of things that this is pretty classless. I swear, I'm heading toward indifference, but I just laughed my butt off. My absence was well understood, and my earlier gift giving to my daughter was also known, so it seems like the family had full understanding of my absence. Mission accomplished. Anyways, that is my Friday humor. For those new to your own bad situation, I cannot stress enough of taking the high road, acting with dignity and class, and just moving toward living the best life. It's not always the most satisfactory course of action, but like weight training, the results take time but are worth it. Happy Friday, y'all. Update. They really are delusional. Hey gents, just venting this morning to get this out to someone, and this group has always been a lifesaver. Post history says it all, but the abridged version is ex-wife cheated it with an old turd. I ended it, and now almost 1 year later, things are going good on all fronts, personally, professionally, financially, kids, etc. I have to deal with the ex still, but I keep it cordial, gray rock, keep out of my personal details, and well, it could be much worse. Friends and family are all in the know on why I chose the divorce. Anyways, I still think the ex-wife has some delusions on her, thinking her cheating was not so bad. She clearly has no shame just by how she tries to act around me. Ask about my family, parading around the affair partner at my daughter's party, etc. Well, this is a new one. I checked my mail the other day, and lo and behold, she sent me a Christmas card of her with the kids and some glamour shots. I then get a call from one of my best buds that he also got the same Christmas card, and I was like, what the F? I'm still waiting to get some call from my parents, but holy crap, this is a new level of delusion. Anyways, I've not said anything to the ex. Will not acknowledge or react. This is what I'm thinking is the goal. Just venting here, brothers, that is all. Anyone else have any stories of delusion? Update. Hey everyone. I thought 1 year after the conclusion of one chapter into another, official divorce and moving out, I'd give one update as things have finally stabilized in this latest chapter. I will continue to offer advice, but I think I reached a point where I think I've learned and pulled what I can, and time to further turn over that new leaf. I'll always post a juicy update when I can, but for now, I will mainly be here to help others through their journey. I have mentioned previously that I was in individual counseling, and I learned from her that life is full of seasons, and to have one full calendar of seasons to process the life change and divorce. After my 4 seasons, my therapist and I had a parting to our normal session, and it may pop in every 6 months or so. She basically said I had reached a great spot. So advice number 1, find someone good to talk to and do the hard work. Romantic update. So about 5 months ago, I decided it was time and fired up some apps just for fun. After a couple of months of comedy, frustration, head shaking, and some fun, well, I don't have the greatest love story ever just yet, like affair partner and the ex. However, through the muck and wasted dates, I did meet someone and we both had a great time going out and being spontaneous the past 3 months. It was a great adventure and it really helped recover some of the confidence that was torpedoed by my ex. We had some personal and cultural bridges that couldn't be overcome, and in the end, we both recently parted ways like adults. Seeing other good people out there and ending something the right way has really helped me not paint the world all in black. So I am thankful for that. I'm probably going to take an extended break and let the world work its magic on its own, but I needed to experience this and grow a little bit. No regrets. I don't have too much else to add. My kids are doing fantastic through it all. At least I can say the ex-wife stays out of my business and we can communicate cordially about the kids. I've had some very lucky career and financial breaks this year, and my sanctuary, aka new house, has come along beautifully. I'm sure y'all want to know about the affair partner. Well, that hasn't imploded, and unfortunately permeates more and more into all this with everything now Facebook official. My kids will every now and then mention him, which grinds my gears, but I just ignore it and ask them another question. I did get a, who is so-and-so's uncle on her Facebook profile? Questions a lot, which is hilarious. Honestly, I've stopped giving it energy. 2 lying cheaters found each other. No great love story began by crushing another person. I pity 2 people that have to try to trust each other knowing they can't trust each other. I'm truly surprised it's lasted this long, but I guess someone is looking for a 3rd divorce. I wish I had more of a juicy update, but sometimes progress is boring, but I like it. I think my final hurdle is still getting over the loss of my family, aka in-laws. I went through this Christmas holiday without my usual traditions with them, and honestly it hurt. This was a time of year that I held dear. I started some new ones, but it's been a learning lesson, watching people that were supposed to be there for you show their true colors. Oh well. Alright folks, that is all for now. Thank you for getting me through the past year and a half. I'm here for anyone that needs a kind word or advice. Cheers and Happy New Year, y'all. Update. Hey y'all, AC496 here, and as always, I'm thankful for all the voices of reason here. As I know my journey has helped a lot of others, I like to and want to share as I progress through and come to the other side. For those new to here, post history explains it all, but I'm going up on 2 years since D-Day and having the literal atomic bomb dropped on my life. Decided to quickly divorce and having to deal with my ex-wife and affair partner, the one known as OMB, literally rub it salt into the wounds. I've had my progress and setbacks, but I have a lot to be happy about, and I feel peace in my life. The final path to healing. I've had some setbacks lately as I've had to frequently see the ex-wife at so many of my young children's extracurriculars. I try to keep cordial, but some distance. But after some reflection, I'm now seeing her schedule so many days of activities as some way to keep control. Well, folks, I got a text on Wednesday saying, "Just a heads up, but your son wants the affair partner to join baseball." Great. Well, folks, we can't control others, and I didn't want to give her any ammunition, so I simply said, "You can do anything you want. You know my feelings, and all I will say is, don't expect me to communicate with someone I don't respect." Boom. Done. 2 years later, I have to sit 10 feet away from the guy, and you know what? I finally got a chance to see the dynamic at play. As many of you folks have commented on previous posts, he is indeed simping hard, going all out to prove himself to please someone who I know will never be happy with what she has. The dude can't even look at me. Just hilarious. Similar to the party incident I posted. I sat back, joked with my former father-in-law. My former in-laws have been very friendly and helpful lately, and just laughed internally. Despite not sleeping well the night before in anticipation of this, I felt nothing but sorry for those two, and I was able to end the event, say goodbye to my former in-laws, my kids, they were with mom last night, and get into my sports car, smile, and drive away. Is this what indifference feels like, folks? Edit. I wanted to mention one more piece of info. Pretty interesting. My former in-laws joined my son's sports to cheer him on. They have always been friendly and cordial, if not a little stiff, if that makes sense. My ex couldn't join earlier this week, but they did, and they were way more outgoing, joking, and dare I say, like pre-divorce. We had a blast. Like many of you have told me, the ex had put them on alert about me, but aren't buying it. I get it now. Just another check mark on my way to healing. Update. Well, folks, didn't think I would be back so soon after the last post, but here I am for some venting. I was driving my daughter to school this morning and she said, "Hey, Daddy, I have 2 daddies now. Mommy said Mr. Affair Partner is our second daddy." Good Lord, blood pressure through the roof. Seeing as my daughter is still too young to really understand any of this, I deflected and just said, "Sweetie, there's only one mommy and one daddy, but there can be other people that can care about you." Trust me when I say I wanted to puke spitting out those words, but it's for her well-being. It's just disgusting to tell a 4-year-old she has 2 daddies. Are you kidding me? So far, I have resisted to blow up my ex's phone, and I'm just going to chill out today, but I'm shaking my head yet again. Is this even worth having a conversation about? I feel like my ex is so hard-headed on making family 2.0 that all she is going to disregard anything I say, call me controlling. Affair Partner is a model human being and father and posts on social media how awesome her life is. Rant over. Thanks again, y'all. Let's check in the community for some comments. I always get a kick out of you calling the Affair Partner OMB. Think I will recall that for a long time. Your assessment is correct about X trying to make family 2.0 with OMB. She is trying to convince the world she has a normal family unit while minimizing the destruction of her original family with you. My guess is she recently regrets her actions but can't take them back. Continue to be the great father you are to your daughter. In time, she will understand the true dynamics of her life. She knows you are the stable parent and will love and respect you for it. Continue to enjoy your life and provide updates when you can, OP. Take care of you and your daughter. Update. You shouldn't be triggered by the Affair Partner. Just looking to get some feedback. Hey y'all, AC496 here. Rocking out to the free world as always. No big update to the Chronicle series just yet. Just living life, enjoying summer, and moving forward. I just wanted to reach out for the gold opinions as always. I think no need to rehash my progress. It's darn near 2 years since D-Day at this point, and I look back at all the crap I accomplished since being served that crap sandwich. A juicy update will be in order for the future, but for now, just wanted to get some advice on how I'm feeling. As I have updated previously, the turd known as Old Man Balls, OMB, the Affair Partner, is more and more a part of my kids' lives. Can't change it, whatever, moving on. I keep my distance to the ex. She is like a bank teller at this point in my life, and I got my own thing going too. Still, it's hard not to get a little triggered when my kids mention of Gramps is invited to some common event again, put on my sunglasses, my best outfit, and rock out and ignore the turd. Thankfully, it's only been one time at this point. The ex is trying very, very hard to make it look legit. Apparently, the social media feed is non-stop. Heard from some perplexed friends. But I no longer have a front or rear row view of this, and I keep my eye on my own adventures. My quandary is this. It still gets the pulse and stress going a little knowing I have to be in the same room as the turd when the kids say, "Hey Daddy, OMB is coming to my..." insert event here. I think this feeling is normal. However, I have had several people tell me that I shouldn't be triggered and I need to move on. Clearly I'm harboring something unhealthy. What the F? And I need to get over it and get used to them. These are also from people who haven't been cheated on as well. Anyways, just wanted to hear from those that have actually gone through this. Am I being unreasonable to feel this way? I assure everyone I'm not at all waking up or going to sleep with thoughts of anything for those 2 clowns, and I'm legit much happier with life at this point. I'm just taken aback lately with these types of comments. They really seem lacking of any empathy. Thanks, y'all. Yes, I know a lot of comments will be, your ex-wife was the one you should be mad at, not Affair Partner. I treat her like a bank teller for a reason. Here's a reaction. Nope, you have no obligation to treat him any way other than a turd known as OMB. Yes, your ex wronged you the most, but he was instrumental in your betrayal and subsequently seeing your children less than you'd probably like. Both of them are both at fault, and strange as it might seem, you are capable of being mad at 2 people at the same time. Yes, you cannot control what happens on your ex's side, and you shouldn't be starting any fistfights or the like, but you hardly have to be best friends for life with OMB to co-parent with your ex. People who say crap like this are brain dead. Like you said, the people who are throwing these comments out have no idea the grief, loss, and trauma of it all. When it's a hypothetical, it's all forgiveness this, everyone makes mistakes that. In their heads, they would act with magnanimity. They would of course sigh at the loss and act with grace, giving their blessing to this outsider usurping their position. They have the freedom to think this because they believe, like most people here once believed, that it will never happen to them. When you're living it and have unjustly felt all those awful emotions and had your family, your life, and your love permanently altered because of someone else's selfish actions, people tend to feel a bit differently, especially if this person is now a step-parent to their children. Keep doing what you're doing. All the best, mate. Your ex is absolutely delusional, and the fact that your ex-in-laws are slowly realizing that they got played is just icing on the cake. Funny how time has a way of sorting things out, huh? Update. Hey everyone, I'm here after taking an extended break and living it up for the summer. Time flies when you're having fun, and amazingly, it's been 1 year now since I asked this group regarding some advice on my daughter's birthday, an event my ex-wife throws as part of her image management. It was gold, and I pulled the ultimate bait and switch at the time and got to laugh at the result. Link below, and just to get out of the way, since it's always asked for those first-time readers, OMB equals old man balls, the affair partner for my cheater ex-wife. What a hidden gem of a man, ha! Since that was such an amazing set of posts with everyone's help, I thought I would reach out again, but this time with a slightly different twist. As background, once again the ex-wife is throwing her, hey look at OMB and I birthday bash for my daughter, complete with her family, crappy co-workers who knew of her cheating, and some of my daughter's friends thrown in the mix. The greatest love emotional connection of all time is in full steam with OMB full on Facebook official since Christmas time, and I guarantee the greatest 2 times soon to be 3 times husband and father of all time, according to Facebook from what I hear, will be there in attendance. My daughter has been asking me if I will attend this year, and now 2 years later, I think I'm in a much better headspace to attend. I'm doing this all for my daughter, but why not have a little fun for myself? With that being said, I have a rope-a-dope I am thinking to pull. I made a post sometime back regarding my daughter saying she had 2 daddies. Some of you excellent followers of my story accurately pointed out this was a result of my ex-wife getting a word of a new lady in my life via her best friend. As an update, said lady friend and I have been proceeding slowly ahead, but our relationship is moving appropriately and healthily forward, and she will meet my kiddos very soon. Well, I'm thinking now it's time for my grand reveal. That being said, just throwing it out there to ask if it's too petty or it's appropriate. As for the twist, well, I'm only going to RSVP as myself attending with no heads up. It's only appropriate given the amount of respect I was shown by those 2 cheaters. Anyways, like last year, updates to come as I'm sure heads will roll. Thank you all again. Update. Just real quick, I wanted to give a quick background update since it will help with setting some additional context. I revealed previously a new lady in my life and things were progressing steadily and organically. I was debating to bring her to the party as part of my grand reveal, but after some thought and many of the excellent comments here, I easily concluded that it would not be appropriate for my lady, even though she was totally supportive, a distraction from my daughter's special day, and just reek of pettiness. It was not the right venue. However, I'm happy to say that I chose to first intro her to only my kids at their favorite restaurant one evening, and things went amazingly well. We followed up by having a common event with all of our kids, and then some more and, well, more success. Finally, my girlfriend and I took a much-needed, all-inclusive beach trip and had an amazing time. All I can say is I couldn't help that some pics made their way to social media, and the rest is history. 3 days later, and the ex-wife was asking, "So, you have something to tell me?" Ha ha ha. So, all that to say is that on the day of my daughter's birthday, I went solo to the party, present in hand and ready to rock. Sure, I was stressed to hell wondering how it would go down, but I showered, dressed well, put on some nice cologne, and strutted on over, smiling like a crazy person the whole way. I simply strolled into the backyard, walked right past OMB and his parents, and was greeted by "Daddy" as my daughter and son sprinted over and jumped on me like a collection of rhesus monkeys. I then had my former in-laws darn near sprinting out to come over and give hugs and greetings with my former mother-in-law, profusely thanking me on the side for coming to the party. Honestly, I was a bit shocked in a way of the warm reception, but it was almost like any other day at my former ex-in-laws' aunts' uncles came right up to make jokes and talk men stuff. Pretty cool, actually. I just ignored OMB, didn't even make a comment or face, and went person to person greeting and cracking jokes. Finally, once my daughter had cake, I excused myself, said my goodbyes, and rolled off into the sunset, smiling my wake back home. I concluded the night with time out with my girlfriend and good friends, and that was that. So thank you to those that commented previously and gave good advice to consider. Once again, the high road paid off, and despite my stress and nerves prior to the party, I grinned and bared and came out victorious. Not gonna lie, it felt pretty good, and sure, I can see OMB is tolerated, but I think it's just that, tolerance, and not acceptance. I have to imagine it ate him to see me greeted like I was, but you know what? I'm finally done wondering about any of this, and feeling ready to move on and conquer what else lay ahead. Cheers, everyone! Update. Hi, y'all. Happy fall to everyone, and hoping life is bringing to everyone what you deserve. It's been a very interesting year and bound to get even more so, in many ways. But as always, take one day at a time and appreciate all the good that is out there. So, it's been a month since my last post, and like everything this summer, the amount of progress and growth seems to have been on an exponential curve. I no longer have those pangs of emotion or sadness, depression, and brooding over what happened, and instead, I'm just laughing at actions of two selfish, stupid people while blazing forward with my own new thing. It's crazy to believe how different I was even 3 months ago. That last party I realized was an inflection point to me, and after I made the post, I later realized how big of a deal that actually was to walk out of that party with my head held high. Well, since then, my girlfriend and I have done much more together, including bringing her to my kids' extracurriculars, and as you all have indicated in one way or another, this is where the fun would begin, and oh boy, did it ever. Well, I decided one afternoon to bring my lady unannounced to my son's football game with my daughter running over shouting, "Mrs. AC 496!" and hopping on her lap and getting a huge glare from the ex-wife. We sat separate from her and her parents, and after the game, the ex-wife ran on over to introduce herself with my girlfriend giving a, "Yes, sure, nice to meet you" attitude. Nuclear. Well, I know it struck a chord because a few days later during another extracurricular, none other than OMB was invited to a weekday evening practice, something he has never attended. Ha! I simply ignored him as I always do and watched my son and talked to the other dads while texting my girlfriend the news. She simply said, "Say hi to Abuelo for me." Anyways, I won't go into more detail. There is plenty more of how this dynamic has played out, but it's not the reason for the post. What I want to explain is that since my girlfriend and I have been more in the spotlight, there has been more in play to rub OMB in my face. I don't have shared social media with the ex anymore, but friends who are in the know have reported the happiness campaign has ramped up full speed, literally within days of the game. I also recently had to go to my son's birthday at his insistence, again the ex-wife's look at me events, and I felt a little frostier this time by some folks, not all. I felt more like on enemy territory, and could tell this time something may have said with respect to me now being in a new relationship. Mainly the ex-brother-in-law and sister-in-law avoided me this time. Weird. It was strange, but I shook it off, smiled, and left at the appropriate time. They don't want to see you happy. My girlfriend brought this up to me after, and it really stuck. Certain people have been told a narrative of how I was a terrible person who deserved to be cheated on, and that is why things happened, and how the amazing OMB had to save the day from such a terrible husband. They now see me happy, moving on with a beautiful woman and loving family, and they can't make sense of it. I should be single and alone and unhappy for the rest of my life, and that would make them happy. But no, old AC 496 is with a lovely lady, in shape, and having a ton of fun adventures while they are unhappy that such a bad person is moving forward that it scrambles their brains. Before this goes on a ramble, I'll bring it to a conclusion. I'm assuming this is all part of the cheater's handbook of control and destroy. Anyone else have any stories of how this went down and perhaps it boomeranged back to the cheater? Take care as always, y'all. Update. Everyone who has been responding lately has been spot on regarding I must be getting under my ex's skin with her ramping up the "We are one big happy family and I found the greatest love of all time" campaign. Well, it must have reached completion as this past weekend my parents were visiting and we have the usual fall sports going on. Well, at my son's football game, my ex-wife decided to introduce OMB to my parents. Let that sink in, folks. My parents. Wow, they really have no shame. I won't go down the rabbit hole on what happened. All I will say is Dad pulled off a masterstroke of ignoring Abuelo and beelining it past him, Office Space style. For those that recall Peter walking right past Lumberg, I looked at those two dummies, chuckled, and went on ignoring. For folks just joining in our journey, these are the kind of people you're dealing with. They have no shame. They don't care about you. They don't think they are wrong, and they will even introduce their cheater partner to your parents. As Chump Lady says, you can't nice these people into doing right because they have no sense of right. Happy almost October, everyone. A quick community comment. Would love to have witnessed that. Unbelievable. She is trying her best to keep hooks in you. Buy your dad a drink from me. Take care. Keep the OMB Chronicles coming. Update. Howdy everyone, and happy holidays to the best group nobody wants to be in. It's been a few months now since my last post, and it's the best time of year, and only a few more weeks until the start of a fresh new year. Well, I like to keep it interesting as always, and this should be a good one, but I'll start with the positives. First, as I alluded to in some previous posts, I have a long-term relationship with a lovely lady, and we are taking our time on building things organically, but it's still going strong. We have spent our holidays together with her hosting Thanksgiving and inviting my parents and family along, and we all had a blast with her friends attending as well. My parents are on the quiet side, but my girlfriend is an expert in bringing everyone's fun side out, and we spent a whole evening with Latin music, food, and dancing. I had to look back and realize not once in the 7 years of my marriage did my parents ever come up for Thanksgiving. My ex never really made them feel welcome enough to want to come up, even if I offered, and now that part of the puzzle makes sense. Anyways, we capped off a great weekend with some more activities and parties, and well, I'm still exhausted just typing this out. In a good way. Alright, enough of that. Time for the good stuff. On that note, I had my kids all holiday weekend with the exception of one night back at Mom's. Well, at pickup yesterday, my kids jumped in the car and got to talking about some activity they will do soon with Mom and OMB, with my daughter, and then saying, "Dad can't come because he is busy, and OMB proposed to Mommy over the weekend, so they are getting married." Ha 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 ha. I had to hold myself from laughing or saying anything derogatory, but I had to really work to contain my laughter. I know this is great progress because I didn't feel upset, sad, anything. Just pure humor that this dummy thinks it's a great idea to pick a third wife with someone who cheated on their husband. Anyways, my kids didn't say much else, and my son immediately was like, "So Dad, are we gonna go do something together?" Just goes to show what they think of it all. I don't have any other details at the moment, nor have I talked with my ex, but I'm seriously laughing my butt off at the moment. I'm really surprised that this has lasted this long, and a small part of me is somewhat miffed. I have to look at Grandpa any longer, but I put in my order for a pallet of Costco popcorn. In the meantime, I'm enjoying the true, newfound sense of love and community with my family and lady friend, and my kids and our adventures will continue. Well, folks, here is to several more editions of the Chronicles coming soon. Anyone want to make any predictions of how this proceeds? Update. Howdy, y'all. Happy holidays and best wishes to those going through the muck, working your way out, or happily moving forward to the future. For those that have been following along the Chronicles, I started these as a way to work through some of my final issues on the pathway to healing and to seek out advice, but now these are starting to veer toward the outright humorous as evidenced by my last post. We can all use a little humor around here, that is for sure. On my pathway to healing, I've found that, like all have said, it is indeed non-linear, unpredictable, and sometimes disappointing, but every now and then we get something that shows the gods are not without their humor. On that note, I wrote last time that prior to the holidays, my kids had let me know about the engagement that took place about 1.5 months ago, to which I let out a little laugh, shrugged my shoulders, and continued on my day. So far, the ex-wife has not said a thing to me and actually somewhat tries to hide her ring, and friends of mine have reached out to say there has been no "Oh my God, we're engaged" post on social media, but odd pictures here or there with hand obvious. A final nugget of info came about last week. My girlfriend has spent quite a bit of time with me over the holiday break and also with my kiddos, and they have taken a real liking to her. My daughter came up to her last week and said, "Are you and Dad going to get married? Because my mommy and OMB are engaged, but they can't get married for 5 years. Mr. OMB is waiting for his kid to go to college." Ha! I swear, I spit on my drink when I hear that, and my girlfriend looked at me like, "What the F? 5 years." I'm not going to use this to ask about what is going on, merely just pointing out to everyone going through the muck. Trust your ex and their cheaters suck. They aren't living a wonderful life, and this is the consolation prize. Getting engaged and waiting 5 years to get married. Happy holidays, y'all. One quick comment. Once again, a nice update from you. Your ex and OMB are just putting on a public display in a feeble attempt to make the cheating worthwhile, while privately they both know they suck. I believe your ex knows she screwed up by leaving a stable and good person, you, but has to fake it for the cameras. Karma, or whatever we want to call it, has her in their sights. Continue to love and take care of the kids and your new lady. You have given your kids a view of normal, healthy life and happy home versus the dysfunction X is presenting. Final update. Hello to the greatest group nobody wants to be in, but here we are. It's AC, and as I have mentioned many times before, I have always found peace in posting the journey and to help those going through this mess. Life is a comedy of errors, and although the darkness at the beginning of the journey is daunting, The light eventually shines through for you to walk, and the universe has such a great way of bringing moments to regain happiness and then also to give a good laugh. One of the topics brought up in this sub is is the affair partner better, or will my wayward be the person I never had? And it's understandable to feel this way. I had these thoughts and scoured these forums like a madman in the early days, wondering this topic, and well, 2 years later, I got a front row seat showing that no, these people suck. Alluding back to life's comedic moments, once again, the universe opened up to give me a much-needed laugh. I'm going to delay the comedy and start off on a good note. My relationship continues to move forward with my girlfriend healthily and organically. We will actually be celebrating a 1-year milestone coming up soon, which is crazy to think how fast the time has gone. Part of the reason is we find a lot of bonding in our adventures out, whether hitting the city, music, sporting events, or even cooking at home. Well, to segue to my point, we recently spent a night out on the town with her wanting to take me to a restaurant that she loved that I never had been to before. We get there, settle down, take an order, and no more than 15 minutes later, I hear pounding on the window. My kids! I recalled my sons saying they were going to an event downtown, and lo and behold, they were both walking by, and apparently, Mom had planned to take them to the same place. My kiddos waste no time in giving hugs to me and Mrs. AC 496, and just overall having a blast. Well, who else walks in but the daughter of OMB? So my first thought is, oh great, 5-year plan Sid is about to walk in. I roll. I'm cordial to her. She is innocent in all this, but still, not what I wanted for the night. The seconds and minutes roll on, and OMB is a no-show. Kids all go to the booth with Mom. I say goodbyes later, and that was that. Fast forward a few days. Hey son, hope you had fun. Was anyone missing from the game? Oh Dad, Mr. OMB couldn't come because he has been working a lot and wanted to sleep and wanted Mommy to take his daughter out. Ha ha ha. Seriously, who misses a night out going to see an event, drink beer and eat greasy food? So going back to paragraph 2, no, these people aren't better. The masks drop off. They don't want to be a part of family activities, and well, who knows what they are doing when alone. If anyone wants to donate to my GoFundMe for more Costco popcorn, please let me know. Cheers, y'all. One quick comment. Uh-oh, he's working a lot. Wonder who he is working. Won't be long now. The fact that your happiness is such a problem for them is just further proof that they never expected you to truly move on. And yet, here you are, thriving, looking good, and enjoying life with someone who actually respects you. No wonder they're scrambling. No one likes to be proved wrong, and they legitimately thought you would be unhappy for the rest of your life. Thanks for taking us along this journey, OP. Here's to proving them all wrong. What are your thoughts on this whole saga? And thank you for joining us today on rSpace. Be sure to like and subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on our next video. See you next time.